Alien Earth Episode 5, In Space, No One, introduces Trypanohincha Ocellus, T. Ocellus, colloquially known as the Oculus, a creature that fundamentally challenges our understanding of life, intelligence, and ecological relationships within the alien universe. This enigmatic organism, resembling a biomechanical eyeball with trailing neural tendrils, demonstrates behaviors and capabilities unprecedented in the franchise's history. Unlike the Xenomorph's purely destructive biological perfection, the Oculus presents a complex interplay of cognitive sophistication, strategic awareness, and potential altruism that recontextualizes the entire ecosystem of alien species. Its introduction marks a paradigm shift in the alien mythology, suggesting a universe where humanity is not merely caught between monstrous predators and corporate greed, but may actually find unlikely allies in the most unexpected forms. The Oculus's design is a masterpiece of biological horror and elegance. Its central eye structure contains a multifaceted lens capable of hyper-focused attention, while its trailing tendrils serve both as neural processors and physical manipulators. This physical composition allows it to interface directly with biological hosts, as seen when it replaces Shmuel's eye and takes control of his motor functions. The creature's surface is covered in a biomechanical carapace that shifts color and texture in response to environmental stimuli, suggesting advanced camouflage capabilities. This combination of features indicates an evolutionary path radically different from both humanity and the Xenomorphs, possibly originating from an environment where visual cognition and information processing are the primary survival traits. Episode 5 reveals the Oculus's extraordinary capabilities through key scenes. The laboratory warning, when a blood tick escapes containment and deposits larvae in Dr. Chibuzo's water bottle, the Oculus becomes agitated, pounding against its container in what appears to be a deliberate warning. This moment suggests risk assessment capabilities, and possibly even ethical consideration beyond instinctual self-preservation. The host takeover. After escaping its container during Morrow's confrontation with Petrovich, the Oculus doesn't attack randomly, but specifically targets engineer Shmuel, replacing his eye and taking control of his body with surgical precision. This demonstrates advanced biological interface capabilities and strategic target selection. The Xenomorph confrontation. In its controlled host, the Oculus actively seeks out the Xenomorph, using Shmuel's vocal cords to mimic Xenomorph communication before engaging in physical combat. This represents not only tactical understanding, but potentially previous experience with Xenomorph behavior and biology. The implications of the Oculus's existence extend far beyond the confines of the USCSS Maginot incident. Its actions suggest a cosmic biological warfare that has potentially been raging for millennia, with humanity only recently becoming aware of and involved in these ancient conflicts. The creature's intelligence and behavior patterns invite comparisons to the Yautja, predators, but with a biological rather than technological sophistication, presenting a fascinating new dimension to the franchise's universe. Analyzing the Oculus's intelligence and capabilities. The Oculus demonstrates cognitive abilities that far surpass any non-human intelligence previously encountered in the alien universe, including the engineers and synthetic beings. Its intelligence appears to be multimodal and adaptive, capable of processing environmental information, assessing threats, and executing complex strategies in real time. This level of sophistication suggests either an evolutionary trajectory that prioritizes cognitive development over physical perfection, or possibly even artificial enhancement by a previously unknown civilization. Cognitive demonstrations. In Episode 5, Risk Assessment and Communication, the Oculus's attempted warning to Dr. Chibuzo represents a profound departure from typical alien behavior in the franchise. Rather than acting solely on predatory or defensive instincts, it appears to recognize danger to another species and attempts to communicate this threat. This suggests not only theory of mind, understanding that others have different knowledge states, but potentially empathic reasoning. The fact that it chooses to warn rather than allow the disaster to unfold, which might have provided it with an opportunity to escape during the chaos, indicates a possible ethical framework alien to both humanity and the Xenomorphs. Strategic host selection. When the Oculus escapes containment, it doesn't randomly attack the nearest human, but specifically targets engineer Shmuel. This selection demonstrates environmental assessment and tactical planning. As an engineer, Shmuel would have extensive knowledge of the ship's systems, making him a valuable host for navigating the environment and dealing with threats. The precision with which the Oculus replaces Shmuel's eye without causing fatal damage shows an incredible understanding of human biology and surgical precision that would require advanced anatomical knowledge. Xenomorph mimicry and engagement. The Oculus's use of Shmuel's vocal cords to produce xenomorph communication signals is perhaps its most intellectually impressive feat. This requires linguistic decryption, understanding the structure and meaning of xenomorph vocalizations. Biological manipulation, precisely controlling human vocal apparatus to reproduce these sounds. Tactical deception, using this communication to lure or manipulate the xenomorph. This combination of skills suggests intelligence that is both analytical and creative, capable of understanding complex systems and using them in novel ways to achieve objectives. Comparative intelligence framework. To understand the Oculus's cognitive abilities, we can compare them to other intelligent beings in the alien universe. Table: Intelligence comparison in the alien universe. This comparison suggests that the Oculus operates at a cognitive level comparable to or exceeding that of the engineers, but with a different emphasis. Where engineer intelligence appears technological and cosmological, the Oculus's intelligence is biological and ecological, focused on understanding and manipulating living systems. Biological interface capabilities. The Oculus's most remarkable capability is its ability to interface with and control other biological entities. This goes far beyond simple parasitism. It represents a form of biological hacking, where the Oculus integrates with a host's nervous system and assumes control while apparently preserving the host's biological functions. The process observed with Shmuel suggests neural mapping. The Oculus must rapidly understand and map the host's neural architecture. Selective control. It takes control of motor functions while potentially preserving autonomic functions. Information access. It may access the host's memories and knowledge, as suggested by its ability to navigate the ship and operate systems. This capability transforms the Oculus from a simple organism into a potential biological supercomputer that can expand its capabilities by appropriating other biological systems. If it can interface with multiple hosts simultaneously, it could effectively become a distributed intelligence, making it one of the most formidable entities in the alien universe. Origins and theoretical background. The Oculus's origins remain mysterious, but evidence from Alien Earth and the broader franchise mythology allows for several compelling theories about its nature and background. Its unique characteristics suggest an evolutionary path completely different from either humanity or the Xenomorphs, possibly originating from a high-information ecosystem where cognitive abilities provided greater survival advantages than physical characteristics. Natural evolution theory. The Oculus may have evolved naturally on a world where visual intelligence became the dominant evolutionary strategy. On such a planet, competition might have centered on information processing rather than physical combat, leading to organisms that develop advanced cognitive capabilities as their primary survival trait. Key evidence supporting this theory includes specialized sensory organs. The Oculus's prominent eye structure suggests evolution in an environment where visual information processing was critical to survival, possibly a world with complex light-based communication systems or rapid environmental changes that required advanced prediction capabilities. Neural tendrils. These appendages appear to serve both sensory and information processing functions, suggesting an evolutionary path where external neural processing developed alongside internal capabilities, allowing for greater cognitive flexibility. Biological interface ability. The capacity to integrate with other nervous systems might have evolved from a predatory or symbiotic relationship with other species on its homeworld, possibly as a means of acquiring knowledge or capabilities from other organisms. If this theory is correct, the Oculus's homeworld would likely be a planet with extreme ecological complexity, but relatively limited physical resources, creating evolutionary pressure toward intelligence rather than physical dominance. Such an environment would produce exactly the kind of capabilities the Oculus demonstrates: information processing, strategic thinking, and biological manipulation, rather than brute force. Engineered biosystem theory. Alternatively, the Oculus may be a created organism, designed by the engineers or another advanced species for specific purposes. Its capabilities align remarkably well with what might be expected from a biological tool designed for interaction with other species. Evidence for this theory includes perfect xenomorph countermeasures. The Oculus's behavior suggests specialized knowledge of and responses to xenomorph biology, possibly indicating design purpose. Biological interface precision. Its ability to integrate with nervous systems shows a level of precision that seems unlikely through natural selection alone. Information processing capabilities. The cognitive abilities it demonstrates are highly specialized for understanding and manipulating other biological systems. If the Oculus is an engineered creation, its purpose might be xenomorph control, a biological control mechanism designed to manage or eliminate xenomorph outbreaks. Biological information gathering, a living intelligence system designed to interface with and understand other species. Ecological balancing, a tool for maintaining biological equilibrium in engineered ecosystems. This theory gains support from the engineers' established tendency to create biological systems for specific purposes, as seen with the black goo in Prometheus and Alien Covenant. The Oculus could represent a more sophisticated approach to biological engineering, one that emphasizes intelligence and control rather than destruction. Ancient civilization theory. A particularly compelling theory suggests the Oculus might be the last remnant of an ancient civilization that ascended to purely biological existence. In this scenario, the Oculus could be what remains of a species that transformed itself into a distributed biological intelligence, with individual Oculus units serving as nodes in a larger consciousness. Evidence for this theory includes high intelligence with limited physical form. The Oculus demonstrates exceptional cognitive abilities despite having relatively limited physical capabilities on its own, suggesting it might be designed to operate through other biological systems. Communication focus. Its ability to understand and produce complex communications suggests a species where information exchange was paramount. Xenomorph familiarity. Its apparent understanding of xenomorph behavior and biology suggests long-term familiarity, possibly spanning millennia. If this theory is correct, each Oculus might contain or access the accumulated knowledge of an entire civilization, making them not just organisms, but living libraries of ancient knowledge. This would explain its sophisticated capabilities, despite being encountered as an individual specimen. Table. Oculus origin theory comparison. The Oculus-Xenomorph relationship, natural enemies or ancient rivals. The most fascinating aspect of the Oculus's behavior is its immediate and aggressive engagement with the Xenomorph aboard the USCSS Maginot. This confrontation suggests a pre-existing biological relationship between these species that may span millennia. The Oculus doesn't treat the Xenomorph as a novel threat, but rather as a familiar adversary, employing specific tactics that indicate previous experience and understanding of Xenomorph capabilities and weaknesses. Evidence of ancient rivalry. Several clues point toward an ancient evolutionary arms race between the Oculus and Xenomorph species. Xenomorph eyeless design. The classic Xenomorph's lack of visible eyes has long been a topic of discussion among fans. The Oculus's appearance provides a compelling explanation. Xenomorphs may have evolved without eyes because the Oculus specifically targets ocular organs. This would represent a fascinating evolutionary adaptation to a specific predator, similar to how some prey species evolve camouflage or other defenses against specific hunters. Specialized attack methods. The Oculus's attack on the Xenomorph focuses on the head region, specifically around where eyes would typically be located. This targeted approach suggests evolutionarily refined tactics designed to exploit specific Xenomorph vulnerabilities. The precision of these attacks indicates they may be instinctual behaviors, refined over countless generations of conflict between the species. Communication understanding. The Oculus's ability to mimic Xenomorph vocalizations suggests deep understanding of their communication systems. This knowledge could only come from extensive exposure and study, further supporting the theory of a long-standing relationship between these species. The Oculus may have developed this capability as a hunting strategy, or as a means of disrupting Xenomorph coordination. Ecological implications. If the Oculus and Xenomorph are natural enemies, their relationship would represent a fascinating cosmic ecological balance, a predator-prey dynamic operating on an interstellar scale. In this model, the Xenomorph serves as the ultimate invasive species, capable of overwhelming ecosystems through rapid reproduction and adaptation, while the Oculus acts as a biological control mechanism, specializing in hunting and managing Xenomorph populations. This ecological relationship would explain several previously mysterious aspects of the alien universe. Xenomorph population limits. Despite their theoretical ability to overwhelm entire galaxies, Xenomorphs never seem to achieve complete ecological dominance, suggesting the existence of natural controls. Engineer interest. The engineer's fascination with both species may stem from understanding this ecological balance and attempting to harness it for their own purposes. Bioweapon applications. Different factions might seek to weaponize either species, understanding their opposed relationship. The Oculus's behavior on the Maginot supports this ecological interpretation. It doesn't attack humans indiscriminately, but focuses specifically on the Xenomorph threat, suggesting its primary ecological role is Xenomorph management rather than general predation. Tactical and strategic implications. The Oculus's approach to engaging the Xenomorph reveals a sophisticated tactical intelligence, specifically adapted to this conflict. Information gathering. Before engaging, the Oculus uses Shmuel to monitor ship systems and locate the Xenomorph, demonstrating strategic patience and reconnaissance capabilities. Luring behavior. By mimicking Xenomorph communication, it potentially draws the creature into a controlled engagement, rather than confronting it on its own terms. Targeted attacks. Its focus on the Xenomorph's head region suggests knowledge of specific vulnerabilities, possibly including neurological structures or sensory organs. Adaptive tactics. When its initial controlled host approach fails, it transitions to direct attack, showing flexibility in engagement strategies. These behaviors suggest the Oculus possesses tactical databases or instinctual knowledge specifically related to Xenomorph combat, further supporting the theory of a long-standing biological relationship between these species. The Oculus as potential ally. Implications for humanity and the franchise. The most revolutionary aspect of the Oculus's introduction is its potential role as an ally rather than adversary to humanity. Its behavior in Episode 5 suggests possible points of cooperation between humans and this enigmatic creature, potentially reshaping the entire narrative direction of the Alien franchise. Unlike the purely hostile xenomorph or the ambiguously motivated engineers, the Oculus demonstrates discriminatory targeting and possibly even protective behavior toward humans. Evidence of non-hostile intent. Several key observations suggest the Oculus may not be inherently hostile to humanity. Selective engagement. The Oculus doesn't attack humans indiscriminately. Even when capable of doing so, such as when it first escapes containment, it focuses on specific objectives rather than general predation. Warning behavior. Its attempted warning to Dr. Chibuzo suggests concern for human well-being, or at least recognition that humans can be useful allies against common threats. Xenomorph priority. Its immediate engagement with the xenomorph, even when humans are present and vulnerable, suggests it perceives the xenomorph as the primary threat, potentially aligning its interests with humanity's. These behaviors don't necessarily prove benevolence. The Oculus may have its own reasons for these actions that don't involve concern for humans, but they do suggest the possibility of shared interests against common threats.
Potential for cooperation. If the Oculus is capable of cooperation, it could revolutionize humanity's position in the alien universe. Potential areas of collaboration include xenomorph control. The Oculus could provide biological control methods for xenomorph outbreaks, potentially offering an alternative to military solutions that have consistently failed throughout the franchise. Engineer technology understanding. As a potentially ancient species, the Oculus might understand engineer technology and biology in ways humanity never has, providing access to advanced knowledge. Corporate balance. The existence of an intelligent, non-human species with its own agenda could disrupt the power dynamic of corporations like Weyland-Yutani and Prodigy, potentially creating opportunities for resistance movements. The most exciting possibility is that the Oculus represents a third path between human technological development and xenomorph biological perfection, a synthesis of intelligence and biology that could offer humanity a way to evolve without losing its essential nature. Narrative implications for alien Earth. The introduction of the Oculus creates numerous compelling narrative possibilities for the rest of alien Earth and beyond. Wendy's connection. As a hybrid human xenomorph, Wendy might have a unique connection to or understanding of the Oculus, potentially serving as a bridge between species. Corporate reactions. Weyland-Yutani and Prodigy would likely have very different approaches to the Oculus, one seeing it as a threat to be controlled, the other as an opportunity to be exploited. Ancient secrets. The Oculus might hold knowledge about the true nature of the xenomorphs, the engineers, and humanity's place in the cosmic order. Perhaps most importantly, the Oculus introduces the possibility of communication rather than combat as a solution to alien encounters. This would represent a fundamental shift from the franchise's traditional narrative of inevitable conflict and survival, opening up new storytelling possibilities while maintaining the horror and tension that define Alien. The Oculus as franchise game changer. The introduction of the Oculus in Alien Earth represents one of the most significant additions to the Alien franchise mythology since the revelation of the engineers in Prometheus. Its combination of high intelligence, biological interface capabilities, and apparent non-hostility toward humans creates narrative possibilities that could revitalize the franchise while remaining true to its core themes of cosmic horror and biological terror. The Oculus succeeds where other franchise editions have struggled by enhancing rather than explaining the mystery of the alien universe. Rather than providing answers about the xenomorph's origins, it introduces new questions about the broader ecological and evolutionary context of these creatures. This approach maintains the sense of cosmic mystery that has always been central to the franchise's appeal, while moving the narrative forward in new directions. Perhaps most importantly, the Oculus creates opportunities for the franchise to explore new themes while maintaining its identity. The possibility of communication, cooperation, and shared interest with alien intelligence offers a fresh narrative direction without sacrificing the horror elements that define Alien. This balance between innovation and tradition may be the key to the franchise's continued relevance and longevity. As Alien Earth continues,
the Oculus will likely play a central role in resolving the conflict between Weyland-Yutani, Prodigy Corporation, and the various alien threats. Its unique capabilities and potential alliance with humanity could determine the fate of Earth and beyond, making it not just another alien creature, but potentially the most important character in the new alien mythology. Whatever direction the story takes, the Oculus has already established itself as a fascinating addition to the franchise's bestiary and a symbol of its evolving narrative ambitions.